Yeah, guys, weekend is finally here, but AI is interesting. So I brought to you an airplane shooter game. I'll show you how the game looks like. There's also a boss at the end of the game, so we'll fight the boss. And yeah, let's look at the game now. Right. So that was the game. I was able to build it in under an hour. And I'll just take you through the structure, how I thought about the game, how we end up building it, right? So we created an HTML game. The idea came because like I was traveling, I looked at a plane, I remembered that this is a cool game that we could build. So you see that there's an airplane in the game and it has propeller in front of it. So that is what we added. And then the game is about a plane firing bullets. So this is the game is in a retro setting, specifically because it reminds you of 90s, the background music, all of that epic from the games that we played in 90s. HTML games are generally built on a canvas setup. Canvas setup here is a technical term. There's a canvas element, so you can explore more about it. We got HTML or Grok specifically to build that, and then we center the game at the center of the page, and we gave it a border. We gave it image rendering, pixelated like filters, CSS filters, all of that. Uh, we gave it a title by the name of airplane shooter in an H1 tag, and then the game starts. So what you look at the starting of the game is a black background. You also have clouds moving. So all of that has been prompted to GPT. This is something that, sorry, you will be receiving in your newsletter today. You can go through this particular post, and yeah, you can try making the game at your end too. A bit about how the boss is. So it is basically a larger size of the airplane that you already see. So there are multiple enemies. You have to kill 50 enemies before you land on the boss. So that is how the boss is. And the boss has twice or thrice the health of a user. You can control all of these metrics in the code. You can control how the plane looks like. You can even prompt GPT to give you a better version of the game. All of that is there. The player bullet, so you have to press spacebar to shoot the bullets. If you keep pressing spacebar, then the bullets keep shooting. So that is a functionality that we added. Enemies and the player have a similar size in terms of how their planes are, but there are different movement that the enemies has. So there's a linear movement. Some of the enemies come in straight, some of the enemies are zigzagging, and then there is a scene movement. So the scene movement is wherein the planes are like wavy a bit. So these are the different types of planes we added. There are also power-ups that you get in the game. So the red power-up that you see, that is for the health. Then there's a power-up that shoots 3 bullets, and there's a power-up that increases the size of the bullet, and it causes like double of the damage. So double the damage of a normal bullet. So that is how it was. And then we have the boss. So there are different rules that I added. What I'll also do at the end of this particular post itself, I won't put in the code this time. I'll add a URL that will take you to a Google Drive that has the code as well as the music file. So there are multiple MP3 files that we added. There's a background music, there's a music that plays when the player shoots a bullet, when the bullet hits the enemy or the enemy bullet hits us. There's a explosion that happens when one of the enemies dies. So all of that has been added here. And then there's a mute button in case you do not want the audio. There is a rendering of the canvas as well as the visuals of the object. So these are the things that I put in: how your player looks like, how the enemy looks like, how the bosses, bullets, power up, clouds, even explosions. So all of that is added here. these are some of the technical requirements that I had put in. So this is to make sure that the game setup is how we want it to be, and it doesn't kind of exceeds those particular limits that I have put in for the game. Uh, Once you get the code, you can host it, you can download it, you can upload it on any particular drive, and you can play it however you want. So this is an HTML file. Just save it as HTML, save the MP3 files as HTML, and the game should be good to go. So yeah, that should be it for today's video. I'll see you next time.